He says, oh, people of the trench. I can imagine there's at least 1,000, right? There's probably more than 1,000. And he tells them, Jabir has food. Everyone come to Jabir's house, we've got food. Jabir's prepared enough food for like maybe 3 people, right? Imagine how embarrassed you would be if you had food for 3 people and there's 1,000 men at the mosque and they're all coming to your house like, Jabir is absolutely dead. He can't hold himself. So he goes back home and he tells his wife, we're stuffed, like, what are we gonna do, right? Then the Prophet, his wife, she asked him, did the Prophet ﷺ say anything to you? She said, yeah, he asked me to describe the food, and he said, oh yeah, don't open the pot. She said, all right, the Prophet ﷺ said that, then don't worry. So she then calmed him down. She said, look, this is the Prophet ﷺ, he's given you very, very specific commands and asked very specific questions. You have no worries. The Prophet ﷺ, it's gonna work, like everything's gonna work out well. So the Prophet ﷺ then comes in and he does something with the pot. And then Jabir's house is small, right? He doesn't live in a mansion. So a few Sahaba come in, they eat. A few Sahaba come in and eat until everyone ate. This is again another one of these miracles that happened. Then there was leftovers. There was like the pot was still full. So there was enough for the family of Jabir, and Jabir then had enough such that he told his wife, go and give out to our neighbors. Go and give out, hand out the food. Because obviously everyone else is hungry as well. Then the Prophet ﷺ continues conversation with Jabir. And he says, Jabir, sell me your camel. Sell me your camel. So Jabir says, it's for you, Prophet ﷺ. Like obviously the Prophet ﷺ asks you for something, you just give it to him. And that's what Jabir did. It's for you, it's a gift. The Prophet ﷺ, no, I want to buy it. Right? And then they start negotiating. So he starts by saying, one dinar. Jabir's like, 1 dinar for a camel this camel's worth more than that. So they eventually get to 4 dinar and they approve it. They approve. Jabir accepts the 4 dinars, 4 gold pieces. Yeah? Approves the sale. Now, what does Jabir do? Jabir now wants to dismount and say, Prophet ﷺ, this is your camel, you've purchased it from me. Now the Prophet ﷺ says, no, ride it until Medina. I give you permission, ride it until Medina. So, okay, they ride, they get to Medina. And once they've arrived, Jabir then comes with the camel to the Prophet ﷺ and hands over the camel. What does the Prophet ﷺ then do? The Prophet ﷺ tells Bilal, all right, Bilal, you just go and grab the money, like the 4 dinars, and add a little bit to it. And he says, he gives it to Jabir, and he says, take this and take the camel. He doesn't take the camel from me, he says, take this and keep your camel. You see what he did? Like, imagine, he wants to help out this Sahaba, but he gave it in such a nice way, right? He helped out this Sahaba in a very, very honorable way. Jabir is one of the oldest Sahaba that are still alive, and he goes out. Jabir is not the leader of this army, but he's one of the Sahaba, and he's respected as an elder now. The leader of the army notices that Jabir he's got a mule, right? He's got a donkey, but he's not riding the donkey. He's just walking with the donkey. So he comes up to him. He asks him, Jabir, you're a bit older now. Why aren't you riding your donkey? Doesn't make sense. Why should you walk? Right? Like, you're an older man, you should take the rest. We've got a long journey in front of us and battle, yada yada, and so forth. It doesn't make sense, right? So he asks him, why? So Jabir then tells him a hadith. Right? And this hadith is also narrated in Bukhari. That Jabir then tells the commander of the army, his name is Malik, that I heard the Prophet ﷺ say that a person whose feet become dusty, Ighbarra is like very, very dusty, like full of dust, right? in the sake of Allah, so someone whose feet has become like filled with dust, in the sake of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids the fire upon him. That is to say, he makes it into Jannah and he's not punished in the fire. And what this leader does, what Malik then does, is he goes to the front of the army and he calls out in a loud voice, Ya Jabir ibn Abdullah! Ya Jabir ibn Abdullah! Oh Jabir, why aren't you riding your mule? He's making a big deal out of it and saying in a very, very loud voice. So Jabir understands what Malik reads, what Malik wants. So then he replies in a loud voice and he says the hadith. سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من اغبرت قدمه في سبيل الله حرمه الله على النار. And he tells this to all and teaches all the Sahaba. Imagine everyone's like, walking and tired, right? And Jabir then says in this loud voice, whoever's feet get dusty in the sake of Allah, in the path of Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the fire prohibited for him. And it becomes then a motivation for the rest of the army.